All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, this time last year, it was all about the franchise tag for some well known running backs around the NFL, while this year, it looks like it's going to be a battle in free agency. Now, last year, Tony Pollard, Saquon Barkley, and Josh Jacobs were all hit with the franchise tag by their respective teams, but they won't have to worry about that this season as they're going to be unrestricted free agents. This is going to be an interesting group of free agents at the running back position, as the list also includes former Tennessee Titans running back Derrick Henry. Now, in recent years, we've seen the market be suppressed for running backs, and I don't expect it to get too much better for these ball carriers. Now, in my opinion, the litmus test could be Derrick Henry. You're talking about a guy who's 30 years of age, and in each of the last 6 seasons, we're talking about a guy that has carried the ball at least 200 times, sometimes even 300. Okay, so how much are teams going to be willing to spend on him? How much are teams um, going to question whether or not he has anything left in the tank? And on top of that, when I talk about the spending, how much guaranteed money is he going to get? Okay. These are things that you got to factor in. But then you look at Barkley, you look at Tony Pollard, you look at Josh Jacobs. In my opinion, I don't see them getting any better offers this year than they did last year. Not because I don't feel that they can't play. It's just the fact that you look at it, teams are going to sit back and say, well, guess what? You guys have another year of wear and tear on your body. And in the case of Josh Jacobs, he only appeared in 8 games this past season. I think Saquon Barkley was like 13 or 14 games, as well as he had the ankle injury early on in the season. And it's unfortunate because the running back position is probably the only one in the NFL where you get penalized for your productivity because you can go out there and run for 17, 1,800 yards, score 15 touchdowns, and then a team is going to sit back and say, well, you touched the ball about 250 times last year. That's going to take away from your effectiveness for the upcoming year. And it's just unfortunate. But, last year in free agency, the biggest running back deal that we saw Miles Sanders get 25 million over 4 years from the Carolina Panthers. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the market predicates this year at that position. It's still going to be a tough time for running backs. I mean, and that's even with the salary cap in the National Football League going up $30 million or so for the coming season. But I mean, you look at it, even with that cap going up, I don't see, you can understand or see why teams did not want to go out there and franchise these guys. They're not going to spend or commit $12 million just off of a franchise tag to the running back position, especially when they feel that they could probably get, these guys cheaper. So it's going to be a very interesting game. I do believe that some of these guys mentioned, as well as some of the other free agents at the running back position out there, the Austin Ecklers, the Gus Edwards, even Ezekiel Elliott and DeAndre Swift, they're going to get some offers. There's going to be a lot of interest in them, but I think what's going to happen is it's going to come down to that first deal to kind of like, if you will, set the market, so to speak. So you look at it and you ask yourself which running back has the chance to get the best deal. I think it's going to come down to which team feels that a guy, is like maybe that missing piece for them to get over the hump. If you're the Houston Texans, and I mentioned this before, you got some cap room. You've got a guy like CJ Stroud, your rookie quarterback, on his rookie deal. Maybe you go out there and spend some money on a Saquon Barkley. Okay, people have rumored the Los Angeles Chargers to possibly, be a good fit for a Saquon Barkley. Maybe there's a team out there who feels that they're running back away and they can get a big bruiser into their building like a Derrick Henry. Maybe they go out there and spend some coin on him. We got to wait and see. And also, with that said, there's still a possibility not all of these running backs that are out there, but some of them could be re-signed by the teams that they last played for. I'm just using Saquon Barkley as an example here. Not saying that he can go back to the Giants, but he wanted to test that market last year, didn't get the opportunity really. Um, with the franchise tag, maybe this is an opportunity for him to go out there and see, hey, maybe I can get some extra bucks from another team. And he's not the only guy. I'm just using him as an example. But nonetheless, again, it's so difficult for that running back position, the wear and tear. And then you've also got to look at the fact that some of these teams are just going to basically sit back and say, hey, let me see who I can go out there and get in the draft as well. A fresher, younger running back to come in here and get into my fold. It's unfortunate, but it's just the nature of the business. But nonetheless, I think once that first deal is done, it's going to set the tenor, if you will, for the running back position this off season. Who's going to sign where? We just simply have to wait and see. Free agency clearly still has not officially started yet in the National Football League, but it is right around the bend. So let's see how some of these running backs, or how much that some of these running backs will be in demand this offseason. Let's see who's going to find a way to get the big bucks. Let's see who's going to get slighted. My money's on guys getting slighted, but nonetheless, it's just another difficult part about being a running back in the National Football League. So, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it would be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now, you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.